About a year ago, there was a small trend of Fallout/Elder Scrolls challenge runners on YouTube making videos on becoming millionaires in different Bethesda games. As they often are in the challenge run community, the older Fallout/Elder Scrolls games were primarily ignored, with the exception of the first two Fallout games being done by TKS Manus. I'd like to see him do a video on Fallout Tactics. It's Jabot, who I credit for inspiring this run, already did runs on Oblivion and Skyrim, but I looked and for the life of me I couldn't find anyone who did this in Morrowind. So I decided that I, despite not knowing a damn thing about Morrowind and having very little Elder Scrolls knowledge in general, would be the person to get 1 million gold in Morrowind. May God have mercy on my soul.
What's up, chat? What's up, chat?
First order of business, as it usually is in an RPG, was character creation. I tried to build a character around magic and alchemy, but kind of forgot that speech is also important for good trading prices. We'll fix that later. Again, I don't know all that much about the Elder Scrolls. If this were Fallout, I would have made a much better suited character, but hey, I tried. The first thing I did once I was free was take the Silt Strider to Balmorra to find Cassius, as he gives you a little bit of money, which would be great to start with. I totally didn't forget where he was and waste like 20 minutes looking for him in Balmorra.
I swear I've searched that entire half of town.
I got the money from him and immediately headed out to Caldera to get a full alchemist set from the mages there. Once I had that, it was right back to Balmorra to just abuse the alchemy system as much as I could. Heading into the Balmorra temple, there's a person who sells wickwheat and marshmallow, the two ingredients needed for making healing potions. So what I did was buy 20 of each, make 20 potions out of them, and then sell the potions back for a good amount of profit. However, I'm not selling the potions back for as much as I could be because I have a low personality/barter skill, and it takes forever because half the time I fail to make the potion correctly because your intelligence affects the chance of making a potion. However, I can change both of these with the Fortify attribute potions. The answer to all of my questions is potions. Despite all of this, after about an hour of buying all the wickwheat and marshmallow Balmorra had to offer, save scumming when I failed making a potion, and selling it all back when I was done, I made a nice 1,000 gold. Which isn't a lot, but just starting out I'm happy with it, and I'm definitely going to improve my system going forward. Day 2 started with me traveling all the way to Genesis to get the necessary ingredients needed to make a bunch of Fortify intelligence potions. These took my intelligence from I think a 60 to something like 140. This made it so much more time effective to make potions, as the main source of time loss was having to reload a save every time making a potion failed. Now I could just do it. However, selling still takes forever because the merchants here only have so much gold on them at once, so waiting for their gold to refill by sleeping and selling a small amount of potions at a time was really the only way to sell all of them without leaving the confines of the Balmorra temple. But just like using Fortify Intelligence as a fix for making potions taking forever, I have a fix for selling them too. Now, $10,000 gold is a hefty sum of money. It's sure nothing to scoff at. However, it's only 1% of $1 million, and it took me an hour to get. With that pace, it would take 100 hours of trading with these godforsaken shopkeepers to get to that million mark. This is where I introduce to you my personal favorite NPC out of any Elder Scrolls game, the Talking Mudcrab, a merchant who for some reason has $10,000 gold on him as opposed to the mere 250 gold that the shopkeeper in Balmorra had. My plan is to now hoard as many ingredients for alchemy as possible, make $100,000 worth of potions at a time, and sell them in $10,000 intervals to the Talking Mudcrab, because maybe he has a use for him. I don't know.
So current goal, 100,000 gold. We're gonna do that by we're basically going to stockpile as much potion stuff as we possibly can. We're gonna make a fuck ton of those intelligence potions. We're gonna make a fuck ton of health potions, and then we're gonna take them in $10,000 increments down to the mud crab, the Talking Mudcrab, who for some reason has $10,000 on him, because the Talking Mudcrab merchant.
The first thing I did was head all the way back to Genesis to get a few hundred of each of the ingredients needed to make Fortify Intelligence potions. I then headed back to Balmorra where I bought the ingredients needed to make 500 Restore Health potions, and then started brewing. I did a thing where I made an intelligence potion, drank it, made another one, drank it, and so on and so forth. My thinking was that with each potion my intelligence would be better, making a stronger potion, eventually getting to a point where it was just overpowered. And while it didn't get too far this time, the potions definitely got better. After all that, I brewed all of the 500 Restore Health potions I was able to make and headed to Vivec to meet the Talking Mudcrab. He isn't exactly at Vivec, he's actually quite a ways away, but Vivec is the closest location I'm using Stilt Striders to get there. A short swim through the marsh and I quickly develop a burning hatred for slaughterfish. Finally, I arrive at the mud crab, where I'm able to sell my potions in 10,000 gold increments, wait 24 hours, and sell again. This was so much faster than the day before, where in day 2 it took me about an hour and 30 minutes just to make 10,000 gold. Here, in an hour and 14 minutes, I made 100,000. I think it's pretty obvious what the rest of this run is going to be.
I love this little fucking mud crab, because there isn't a reason for him to exist, he just does. And because of that, I have 105,000 gold!
And yeah, that's just what the rest of this run was. I drank intelligence potions until I was at an intelligence of 10,000 and just made a bunch of health potions. With an intelligence that high, they sold for 1,300 gold a pop, and I just made and sold them until I eventually hit 1 million, ending the run. I didn't actually realize how valuable a challenge like this would be to me. I mean, this challenge actually made me learn some of the mechanics of the game, it showed me cool hidden things, and through a little bit of research, I learned a lot about this game. For instance, I knew that my method couldn't have been as efficient as possible, but I didn't know that I could have just used Control Creature on the mud crab and taken him back to Balmorra with me. It went from a game that I had a few hours into one that I'm really looking forward into exploring as much as I possibly can. If there are any other Elder Scrolls games you want to see me take a crack at this with, let me know. The more obscure, the better. I really want to try this with Redguard, although I'm not sure if that's even possible. And if there are any other challenge ideas you have for a Fallout/Elder Scrolls game, let me know and I'll try it out. Thank you so much for watching.